What's going on, guys? It's Sensei Adam. Welcome back to another Brawl Stars video. So today I just want to go ahead and discuss which brawlers I believe are the best to use if you're trying to get a really good time in boss fight as the boss. I know I made a video of this like 3 months ago when this game mode first came out, but you guys know a lot of the things have changed with this, especially with the boss health, since now everybody has pretty much the same amount of health. And also, you guys know the new boss decay, it just changes up a lot who you can use, because over time you're gonna lose health, because you do have to take that into account. You are gonna lose some health without even doing anything or going near your opponent, so that really shakes up the meta of who's gonna be really good for boss fight. But if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more daily Brawl Stars content. But let's just get started on this top 3 list. So number 3 on my list of best bosses is Nita. Now Nita, she did receive a buff specifically for boss fight where her bear has a ton more HP than it had before. Before the update, like the landscape update, I believe it had around 9,000 health when you spawn it in. Now it has around 16,000 health. So it's a lot more of a big burden for the other team to deal with. So they have to really focus on that, waste like 10 seconds. While they're doing that, your Nita can just keep badgering them and get another bear as soon as you destroy it. Basically, the way I see it, Nita almost always has a bear out on the field almost all the time. There's no way to not have a bear. Unless you're really sloppy and you're just staying back and letting your bear do the work. But for the most part, you're always going to have that bear, like no questions asked. And second thing, and I think they kind of messed up not implementing this feature, because I think that's why they increased the bear's health. And that is, the bear does not get health decay just like the boss. So they increased it a ton of HP, and it also does not get health decay. So you know that's going to be a recipe for being extremely overpowered. The way that I see it, Nita's kind of like one of the best low risk, high reward brawlers, because she's fairly decent the 5 out of 6 times you're not being the boss, while when she's the boss, she's fairly decent and one of my best options to pick. The way that I like to use Nita is whenever the game starts, I just move up a little bit and try and get as many shots towards my bear as possible. Then I always move back because she doesn't do as much damage, and you want to try and hit as many opponents as you possibly can. And the way that I see it, there's 2 different ways that you can use your bear efficiently when you're playing Nita. Number 1, you want to throw it as far away from you as possible, preferably towards your flank. Like, you don't want somebody to be surrounding you, especially a tank, so just throw it away from you just so they can't surround you. Make sense? And number 2, and I bet this is what you guys do a lot, is just throw it straight down at your feet. You don't even have to think about it too much, just use the auto aim button, and I believe the bear just throws itself, so you don't even have to think about it if you're doing that method. But I wouldn't suggest doing this if you're going against a Jessie or a Spike, because most likely that's not going to help you out in defending yourself. They're just going to bounce the shots off of you, or like the Spike's just going to use this super and you're going to be trapped, and that bear for the most part is going to be a waste. But overall, I would say Nita is a pretty decent option if you're trying to get over 2.5 minutes, and also even if you end up playing on offense 5 out of 6 times, you're also not going to be disappointed because her bear is really good against the boss as well. Moving on to the second best boss in boss fight, we have a max Jessie. Now yes guys, unfortunately you have to have a max Jessie for her to be extremely efficient in boss fight. The reason for that is her star power. It's just insanely overpowered. It's like it was built for this game mode. All you have to do is just sit back, let them come towards you. When you see them going towards you, just shoot the turret. Don't do anything, just keep shooting. Spam that turret hardcore, and your shots are just gonna act like a homing missile, especially at close range. And take into account, guys, they increase the radius of Jessie's shot. Like, don't you remember, like Piper also got it, Brock also got it. Jessie, I think they didn't even get a nerf since she isn't considered a long-range brawler, so she kept her big radius. So it's extremely hard to miss with that shot, especially like in boss fight. They just come close to you, they have no regard for their health whatsoever, so you can just spam that shot and boom, it's gonna be GG. It's so funny to do. And adding on top of that, her turret also got the same buff as Nita, so she now spawns the turret in with 16,000 health. Yes, 16,000. So they have to shoot it like 10 or 12 times in order to destroy that thing. So basically, you get unlimited turrets. As soon as they destroy it, you can just plop down another one and just keep the cycle going. So it's never ending turrets for your Jessie. And for the most part, if you guys try and play this strategy, it's so funny how they don't even try and go for you for the most part, and they go for the turret the whole time. Even though you should know that as soon as they destroy that turret, I'm just going to plop down another one, and there's nothing they can do about it. Like, they can try to do it, but as they try to take it out, they're just going to keep firing to another super of mine. So it's really tough for them to take that out. So I would say Jessie's probably one of the most annoying yet best bosses for boss fight, because it's just so annoying to do that. The one thing why I do put her on second place is because most people don't have a max Jessie. Especially now with the new upgrading system, you can't really prioritize maxing your Jessie, so it's kind of tough for everybody to do this. And the second con to playing Jessie is that she's kind of like a high risk, high reward type of brawler, because let's say you get 5 out of 6 times on offense, it's really hard to kill that boss, especially now since they have that increased HP. Yeah, so you're only going to benefit from playing Jessie 1 out of 6 times, but in my opinion, it's really fun to play her. If you guys do have a max Jessie, definitely try her out. It's really fun to do. Alright, but before I release my #1 pick, I kind of just want to discuss a few brawlers in kind of like an honorable mention section. And there's 3 of those. These brawlers, you guys do say they're amazing at being the boss, but I just have to say there's a few quirks to them that make them not as good as the top 3 on my list. So first off, I want to list Barley. I have to say, he's really good, especially with that health buff. So everybody has the same health, so it doesn't really matter playing Barley for the health. You're just doing it for that high damage and high area control. The one problem I do see with playing Barley though is that as soon as they break that wall on this map over here, you're basically done because you cannot hide behind there. The long range brawlers are just going to pick you apart, and you're going to find yourself just staying in a corner trying to cling for your life. But as long as that wall is up and you don't let them load up their supers to break it, I would say Barley is an amazing brawler to play. Another brawler I would say is pretty decent is also Terra. Her super is great if there's a lot of enemies together, but one of the problems is that it takes a lot more hits to charge it up than normal. When you're the boss, I believe it's like 2 times or 3 times the hits that you have to get in order to charge it up. So for the most part, you're not going to get that super often. And I also find that at higher levels, people are smart and don't crowd around each other when a Terra as the boss has her super, so they just spread apart, and you're going to find yourself just killing one person with that super, then having to take a lot more shots in order to get it back. So I just don't find Terra being as useful at higher levels. Maybe at lower levels she is decent because people will just be not very smart and just crowd around each other, but I don't know, in my experience she's not the best. And lastly, on our honorable mentions is Spike. Now I know a lot of people are fans of Spike, especially at being the boss, but I just don't see him having enough accuracy in order to kill 5 people that are trying to get him. With the auto aim, it's not the best, especially if they're trying to get at medium range, but I do get it, guys. Spike is a great option, especially on offense, because he does put out a high damage when you're playing against the boss, but as the boss, I'm not too sure. I've tried him a few times. I just see that there's a lot better options. Even Barley is better than him in my opinion. But yeah, those are my 3 honorable mentions. And of course, guys, the brawler that always stands the test of time. The brawler that's always been one of the best options for boss fight. No matter what buffs, what nerfs, or whatever he gets, he's always one of the best options you can possibly pick. And that is Crow. He just has so many things going for him, and especially now since they increased the health for everybody, and his health is the same as the tank when he's the boss, he's basically overpowered at this point. Here are all the advantages that I see when you play Crow as the boss. Number 1, he has that huge health, of course. Number 2, now with the auto aim option, you can just get close to somebody, they're going to do a minimal amount of damage to you, and you can just spray that auto aim and they're not going to do anything about it. Like, they just can't. He just does way too much damage up close. Number 2, even at long ranges, he still packs a really good punch. He can keep them poisoned, keep them from regenning and coming at you at full force. If you have him maxed out, you're going to weak them and nerf them basically, and they're going to do 10% less damage. So with those 2 things combined alone, he would be a pretty sizable threat on his own. But at number 3, of course, his jump just saves him out of a bunch of different situations. You can just use it whenever you're getting surrounded by all 5 people. Use it to jump to the other side of the map and run away, and you're gonna buy yourself a lot of time. I just feel like with Crow's combined arsenal, he's basically unstoppable at this point. And that's why now, more than ever, you're seeing like at least 3 Crows per match. Well, at least I do at high level games. I don't know about lower levels, but at 400 plus trophies, there's always at least like 3 crows in the offensive team, or 2 crows and a crow being the boss. So that's how you know somebody has to be overpowered in a game mode. Just everybody's using him no matter what. But yeah guys, that's it for my top 10 best bosses for boss fight. Are there any other brawlers that you think are amazing at being the boss that I didn't list? I'd love to hear your opinions down in the comment section below. I always take all of my time to read every single one of your comments, so all of your feedback is appreciated. But anyways guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more daily Brawl Stars content. And as always guys, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.